Hey there, universe explorers and dreamers. Get ready for a deep dive into the interesting idea of parallel universes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Parallel universes? Sounds like stuff from a sci-fi book. But stick with me as we travel through an idea that has puzzled and caught the interest of scientists, thinkers, and dreamers like us. Picture, if you can, an endless library. Each book in this library tells a different story, different and special, yet all kept in the same place. In our example, each of these books stands for a universe, a different reality with its own set of rules, its own past, its own type of you. Yup, you heard me right. You, living a different life, making different choices in a universe that's just a bit off from our own. This is the thought of a parallel universe, a world that exists next to our own, yet is separate and different. And the most head-spinning part, there could be an endless number of these universes, each one like a splash spreading out from the stone we've thrown into pond of life. Now, these universes might be very different from ours. Maybe in one, the rules of physics as we know them just don't work. Maybe in another, dinosaurs never died out and walk the earth today. Or maybe, just maybe, they're not so different after all. Maybe in one of these parallel universes, you chose a different breakfast this morning, or went a different way to work. But why stop there? Why keep ourselves to the everyday stuff? In another universe, you could be an astronaut discovering the farthest parts of space, or a famous artist making paintings that make people cry. The chances are endless, just like the universes themselves. So just think, in another universe, you might be living a totally different life. Now you might be asking, how can we believe such a wild idea could be true? Well, it's not as far-fetched as you might think. The idea of parallel universes is strongly linked to established ideas like tiny particle physics and string theory. Let's take a step into these complicated ideas and simplify them a little. Tiny particle physics, key part of modern physics, suggests that tiny bits of matter can be in multiple places at the same time. Picture flipping a coin. It's heads or tails, right? But the world of tiny particles, it's both. The coin is being in two places at once, existing as both heads and tails until someone looks at it. Now apply this to the whole universe. Every time something happens, the universe flips a coin. Each outcome exists in two places at once, creating countless universes where every possible result of every event happens. Interesting, right? Then there's string theory. This idea suggests that the basic building blocks of the universe aren't tiny bits of matter, but small, shaking strings of energy. According to string theory, we live in a multiverse made up of many dimensions. We're familiar with 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time, but string theory suggests there could be up to 11 dimensions. These extra dimensions could be where parallel universes exist, hidden from our sight. So it's not that scientists are just daydreaming about parallel universes. These ideas, even though they're complicated, provide a scientific base for the chance that they could exist. They suggest that there might be other realities, other yous out there, making different decisions and living different lives. And even though we haven't found strong proof yet, the science suggests that the existence of parallel universes is more than just a wild guess. So, keep an open mind. Who knows what discoveries are just out of our current grasp? But here's an idea. Could we maybe swap memories with our other selves in different worlds while we're deep sleep? Now, this is where things get really fun. When we close our eyes and drift off into dreamland, we might be doing more than just thinking about what happened during the day or exploring our hidden thoughts. Some ideas suggest that dreams could be our way to different worlds. Picture this. While you're sleeping, your mind becomes a kind of traveler, reaching out across the huge space of many worlds to touch the lives of your other selves. It's an exciting thought, right? That the weird, dreamlike, and sometimes totally odd things we see in our dreams could actually be bits of real places where we live totally different lives. Some people think that dreams might be like particles linked together, a thing where particles join up and instantly affect each other, no matter how far apart they are. If we think of this idea with us and our other selves in different worlds, it could be that our brains, when they're most chilled out and ready to listen during deep sleep, join up with the minds of our other selves, leading to a swap of memories and experiences. Now, this is just a guess and remains firmly in the guessing part. but it's an idea that's been used in sci-fi and thinking about life, offering an exciting possibility about what dreams are and are linked to many worlds. But let's not dreams can also be influenced by our everyday lives, our hopes, fears, and wishes. They are complex, have many layers, and everyone sees them differently. So while it's fun to think about dreams as our way to different worlds, it's also important to remember that they're a very personal and different for everyone experience. So next time you dream about flying or meeting aliens, remember, it might just be your other self having a fun day. But can these side-by-side worlds be random, or do they have a link with our world? This is where it gets really exciting. There are ideas that suggest these side-by-side worlds could be very much like our own. Picture that, a world just like ours, where the same rules of physics work, where history has happened much like our own story. It's like you've been given a space mirror, and on the other side, you see a world that could be ours. A world where maybe you exist, living a life not so different from the one you're living now. This thought, though interesting, is just one part of the story. Flip it over, and we land on a totally different way of thinking. One that suggests these side-by-side worlds could be completely different from ours. A world where the rules of physics as we know them just don't work. A universe where the idea of time and space is so strange, it goes beyond our understanding. Imagine a universe where gravity pulls you up instead of down, or where time goes backwards. Maybe a universe where life is not based on carbon, but something completely different. Something we can't even start to understand with what we know about the universe now. So we don't just have the chance of side-by-side worlds that are like ours, but we also have the chance of universes so very different, they test our real understanding of what's real. This brings us to a very exciting crossroad. On one hand, we have worlds that could be our twins, almost the same in their rules and story. On the other hand, we have worlds so special, they could be from a different dimension altogether. It's a thought that really makes your head spin, isn't it? A universe where the impossible in our world is the everyday in another. And that's the real beauty of exploring the idea of side-by-side universes. It makes us think wider, challenging us to think beyond our own space bubble, and makes us curious about the endless chances that could exist in the many worlds. In the big picture, we're just beginning to learn about our universe and other possible ones out there. We've traveled through the sky looking into the idea of other universes just like ours. We've dug into the science behind these strange possibilities, looking at the theories that scientists have made over the years. Ideas like quantum mechanics, string theory, the multiverse, all these thoughts give us the exciting possibility that we are not alone, that there might be other versions of us out there, living their lives in other universes. We also pondered the idea of swapping memories in deep sleep, an idea that would surely change how we understand our minds and reality. Think about it. Dreaming about a different version of yourself, in a world not like ours. You wake up, holding memories of a life that isn't yours, but could have been if things were different. It's an idea that sits somewhere between science and deep thinking, between what we know and what we can only dream of. We've considered the likely similarities and differences between our universe and these suggested other ones. Would they follow the same laws of nature as ours, or would they be random, unrelated places with no link to our universe? The answers to these questions could change how we see our place in the big sky, but remember, these theories are just the start. We're still at the beginning of our big sky journey, and there's so much more to learn. The universe is big, mysterious, and packed with possibilities. And who knows, maybe one day we'll show that these other universes are real, starting a whole new world of exploration and discovery. Thanks for coming with us on this big sky journey. Remember, the universe is full of mysteries waiting to be found. If you liked our trip through the big sky, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep exploring and keep dreaming.